here I am in Illustrator, and I'm going to go to my type tool, and you notice that the type stuff pops up here. And I have my cursor, and I'm just gonna make a box, click and drag on the desktop. That lorem ipsum, right? Lorem ipsum are the first two words in this, so that's one of the reasons why it's named that. But it's fake text. It's just sort of placeholder text if you need it. So I'm just gonna get rid of it because I don't need it. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna change my point size to something bigger, 36 points, and I'm gonna type out a word in all caps. So I'm caps lock on. I'm going to type sun. Not big enough for me, so I'm gonna make it bigger. Maybe even bigger. You can type in your point size there as well. I'm gonna make it another typeface because I still don't think this is thick enough for me. Whatever. Let's go. I'm gonna add some serifs to it too. So I'm gonna choose Garamond and semi-bold. And so as you see that I can select this text, I can select one letter. This is an active typeface, an active font. And you know that when you click off of it, when you see the line underneath the actual text. So if I go to my selection tool and I click on the text, it gives me the box that it's in, and it also shows me the line that's the baseline for the type. I'm going to change these active letters into outlines, which make them basically an object that I can manipulate. So I'm going to go to type and go down to create outlines. And automatically you see a big change. There's no more line under the text, and that big box that was around where I could have added more text is now just a box, a bounding box around the word sun. So if I click off of, or I could click off of that, I can move it around as an object. But if I go back to my text tool, you see when I click on text, it shows me all the anchor points, and I cannot actually select the text itself. It just gives me a new text box. So one thing that I also want to do with this is I want to unlock these letters. I want to be able to move them independently. So I will go up to object because it's an object now, and I'm going to ungroup this object of letters, or this group of letters. I'm going to ungroup them. Click off onto the desktop, and now I can click individually on them and move them around as I choose. You can do some cool stuff here. Woohoo! So the next thing I want to do, and you hover over them and you can see where one letter ends and another begins, with it just showing you the little outlines. So I'm going to move them away from each other. But I also want to manipulate them in creating shapes and just changing the typeface itself. So I'm going to go over to my pen tool, and I'm going to add anchor points. And I'm going to, the end is already selected, so why not use that? I'm just going to add some more. A couple there. And this does take some getting used to, is how you're going to work with this, how you're going to manipulate it, what you want to achieve when you have all these anchor points there. You can add some, you can also go back to the pen tool, and you can also delete anchor points. So I can go in here and click on said anchor point, any one of them, and delete. So Command Z back to what the letter really looks like. And I'm going to go to my direct selection tool, not the selection tool, but the direct selection tool, and that's going to allow me to manipulate all of these little anchor points. And so you see them, they're filled in with blue right now. I want them to look like they're filled in with white. So I click off of them, and then I select them again, but I click on the edge where it says the path, and now you can see they're filled in with white. That means I can move them, and you notice that the handlebars come out here. So now I can change the shape of the arc however I would like. It does limit you a little bit, so you have to play around with how you're going to create these new shapes and what you really want to achieve when you're doing this. So when I let go and then I hold down Option, I can go back and it'll allow me to manipulate only one side of that anchor point, only using one of the handlebars. So that can be very helpful as well. I'm going to click over here. Again, the handlebars appear. I'm going to now click on Option and hold it down, and I'm only using one side of the anchor point, one part of the handlebars. Go up here, same thing. The handlebars appear. I let go of it and I hit Option and hold it down, and I can use one side. So that's basically what you can do with the pen tool, with letters and turning them into outlines and then ungrouping them and creating a new typeface, or even creating, like we were illustrating before, creating these illustrations of the words within the word. So that's kind of it.